The race for global dominance isn't fought with tanks or missiles anymore. It's waged with microscopic chips that power everything from artificial intelligence to cutting-edge military systems. Enter China's top chipmaker, SMIC, where whispers of a stunning breakthrough are shaking the world. A 2nm chip, a technological leap that could flip the balance of power overnight. If true, it's a direct challenge to US supremacy. But here's the twist: is this real or a cleverly timed bluff? The stakes couldn't be higher, and the truth could reshape our future. So who is SMIC, and why does this tiny chip carry such massive weight? Let's step back and uncover what's really at play. Let's set the stage for a story that could reshape the world. In the high-stakes arena of geopolitics, where power is measured not just in missiles or markets but in microscopic circuits, one company stands at the heart of China's technological ambitions. SMIC, the Semiconductor Manufacturing International Corporation. SMIC is China's top chipmaker, a cornerstone in the nation's mission to break its reliance on foreign technology. Established in 2000 in Shanghai, SMIC emerged as a direct response to China's growing dependence on imported semiconductors, a vulnerability Beijing could no longer tolerate in an era where chips power everything from phones to fighter jets. Over the past 2 decades, SMIC has grown from a modest player into China's largest and most advanced foundry, though it still lags behind global leaders like Taiwan's TSMC and South Korea's Samsung. Its role is pivotal to fuel China's push for tech self-sufficiency and challenge the US's long-standing dominance in the semiconductor industry. This isn't just a corporate tale. It's a battle for influence in artificial intelligence, military systems, and the global economy. Now let's talk about why 2nm chips are such a big deal. In the world of semiconductors, nm stands for nanometers, a unit so tiny it measures the size of transistors, the building blocks of a chip's processing power. To put it in perspective, a human hair is about 80,000 nanometers wide, while a 2nm transistor is smaller than a virus particle or a strand of DNA. Shrinking transistors to 2nm allows engineers to pack billions more onto a single chip, making it smaller, faster, and more energy efficient than ever before. Compared to the 7nm chips common today, 2nm technology could deliver up to 50% better performance and use 30% less power. That leap matters for everyday devices like smartphones, but its real impact lies in cutting-edge fields. Artificial intelligence that can process data at unprecedented speeds, military systems like autonomous drones or missile guidance, and even quantum computing that could redefine what machines are capable of. In short, 2nm chips aren't just an upgrade, they're a ticket to leading the next industrial revolution. But here's where the plot thickens: the US sanctions on SMIC. Since 2019, the United States has imposed a series of restrictions aimed at hobbling China's tech rise, with SMIC squarely in the crosshairs. These sanctions have cut SMIC off from critical tools like EUV lithography machines, made by Dutch company ASML. EUV, or extreme ultraviolet lithography, is the gold standard for crafting chips smaller than 7nm. It uses light wavelengths finer than a human hair to etch circuits with atomic-level precision, an engineering marvel that's essential for 2nm production. Without EUV machines, SMIC faces a Herculean task, forced to rely on older, less efficient methods like DUV, deep ultraviolet lithography. The US strategy is clear: keep SMIC stuck producing older generation chips, widening the gap with Western leaders like TSMC. These restrictions don't just hurt SMIC, they ripple across China's tech ambitions and the global supply chain, raising the stakes in this silicon showdown. Yet against all odds, there are rumors of a 2nm breakthrough at SMIC. Despite the sanctions and the technological barriers, whispers from industry insiders, leaked reports, and tech forums suggest that SMIC might have pulled off the impossible, producing a 2nm chip without EUV. If true, this would be a stunning defiance of US efforts, a sign that China's semiconductor capabilities are advancing faster than anyone predicted. But the story's far from clear. No official proof has emerged, and the claims spark fierce debate. Some experts dismiss it as a propaganda move, a flashy headline to unnerve competitors and boost morale. Others speculate it could be real, perhaps achieved through ingenious workarounds or sheer determination. The implications are massive. A verified 2nm chip could shift the balance of tech power, forcing the world to rethink China's place in the industry. So, what's the truth? Has SMIC really cracked the 2nm code, or is this a carefully staged bluff? The answer could change everything, from trade policies to military strategies. Let's dig deeper and find out. So, has SMIC really done it? Whispers of a 2nm chip breakthrough have set the tech world ablaze, with claims that China's top chipmaker has defied the odds and U.S. sanctions to achieve what many thought impossible. The rumor is bold, tantalizing, and divisive, a spark in a powder keg of geopolitical tension. But where did this story come from, and can we trust it? Let's break it down. The buzz began in early 2025, when unverified reports surfaced on tech forums and Chinese media outlets. Posts on platforms like Weibo and obscure industry blogs claimed SMIC had produced a functional 2nm chip, rivaling the best from TSMC or Intel. Some even hinted at prototypes already in testing for AI applications. These claims weren't from SMIC's boardroom or a press release, no. They were leaks, allegedly from supply chain insiders or engineers close to the project. One report, picked up by Western analysts, suggested SMIC had delivered small batches of 2nm chips to Huawei for next-gen smartphones. The details were sparse but electrifying. If true, China could leapfrog years of technological lag in a single move. But here's the twist. No one has seen the chip. No specs, no samples, no third-party verification. In the semiconductor world, breakthroughs come with proof. Think TSMC showcasing its 3nm chips to investors. SMIC's silence is deafening. Instead, we have a patchwork of sources, some credible, some dubious. Industry insiders, like analysts from Bloomberg and Reuters, have cited supply chain sources, but caution that the claims are unconfirmed. Meanwhile, Chinese state media has amplified the story, framing it as a triumph over Western sanctions. This raises red flags. Is this a genuine breakthrough or a propaganda play to project strength? Let's consider the credibility. On one hand, SMIC has shown resilience before. In 2020, despite sanctions, they produced 7nm chips for Huawei using older DUV lithography, a feat most thought improbable. Could they have pushed further to 2nm? Some experts say it's possible, pointing to China's massive R&D investments, over $50 billion annually in semiconductors, and SMIC's knack for workarounds. Others aren't convinced. Semiconductor veterans like those at Tech Insights argue that without EUV machines, 2nm production is a stretch, requiring costly, inefficient methods that yield low output. One analyst put it bluntly, "It's like building a skyscraper with hand tools, doable but impractical." Then there's the timing. The rumor dropped amid escalating U.S. China trade tensions just as Washington tightened export amplifier controls on advanced chip tech. Coincidence? Maybe not. Some speculate China's hyping the rumor to rattle markets, boost national pride, or pressure the U deep into rethinking its strategy. Others believe SMIC might have achieved a limited prototype, not mass production but enough to make a statement. Either way, the rumor's impact is undeniable. It's got the tech world buzzing, investors nervous, and policymakers on edge. So what's really going on? Is SMIC's 2nm chip a technological moonshot, a strategic bluff, or something in between? The answer lies in the science and the stakes. Stick around, because we're about to dive into the technical reality and find out if this is even possible. So the rumor's out there. SMIC might have built a 2nm chip defying U.S. sanctions and technological barriers. But let's cut through the hype. Is this even possible? Producing a 2nm chip is one of the most complex engineering feats in history. To get to the truth, we need to understand what's required, what SMIC has, and how far they might actually be. Let's dive into the science. First, what does it take to make a 2nm chip? At its core, it's about precision. Etching circuits so tiny they're measured in atoms. A single 2nm chip packs over 50 billion transistors, each smaller than a virus. To achieve this, you need extreme ultraviolet lithography, or EUV, a technology pioneered by Dutch firm ASML. EUV machines use light waves finer than a human hair to carve intricate patterns onto silicon wafers. It's like painting a masterpiece with a laser beam. These machines cost over $200 million each, and they're the only reliable way to mass-produce chips at 2nm scale. Companies like TSMC and Intel rely on EUV to stay ahead, churning out chips for AI, smartphones, and military systems. Without EUV, you're stuck in the slow lane, using older deep ultraviolet lithography or DUV, which is less precise and far less efficient for such small scales. But here's the catch. SMIC can't get EUV machines, US. Sanctions tightened since 2019 have blocked ASML from selling these critical tools to China. The US argues that advanced chips could fuel China's military ambitions, so SMIC has been cut off, forced to rely on DUV or homegrown alternatives. Dove can, in theory, produce 2nm chips, but it's like writing a novel with a crayon. Possible, but painfully slow. Multiple patterning, a Dove workaround requires dozens of extra steps, slashing output and driving up costs. Industry experts estimate yields could be as low as 10%, compared to EUV's 70% or higher. For mass production, that's a deal breaker. So does SMIC have the tech to pull this off? Let's look at their track record. In 2020, SMIC stunned the world by producing 7nm chips for Huawei, using DUV machines pushed to their limits. It was a remarkable feat, but 7nm is a far cry from 2nm. The jump requires exponentially more precision, better materials, and advanced software, areas where SMIC lags behind global leaders. China's been pouring billions into domestic alternatives, developing its own lithography machines and materials. Companies like Shanghai Microelectronics have built DUV-like systems, but they're years behind ASML's EUV tech. Rumors suggest SMIC might be experimenting with hybrid approaches, combining DUV with new etching techniques or even smuggled equipment acquired before sanctions. But these are long shots. No public evidence shows SMIC has a working EUV equivalent. How far along is SMIC, really? Analysts at Tech Insights believe SMIC is closer to 5nm than 2nm. With limited yields and high costs, a 2nm prototype might be possible in a lab. Think small batches for testing, not mass production. Some speculate SMIC could have reverse-engineered foreign tech or collaborated with Chinese universities to crack key hurdles. But scaling that to commercial levels? That's a different beast. Even TSMC took years to perfect 2nm, and they have EUV and decades of experience. So what's the verdict? A 2nm chip from SMIC isn't impossible, but it's improbable without a major technological leap we don't yet see. The rumor might reflect a breakthrough in a lab, a bold exaggeration, or something else entirely. But if SMIC has pulled it off, the geopolitical fallout could be seismic. What would the US do next? Let's find out. If SMIC has truly cracked the 2nm chip, the world's power balance could shift overnight. A breakthrough of this magnitude isn't just a tech story, it's a geopolitical earthquake. The United States, China, and their allies would feel the tremors from boardrooms to battlefields. So how would the US respond, and why does this tiny chip carry such colossal weight? Let's unpack the stakes. First, the US reaction. Washington has spent years tightening the screws on China's tech sector, with SMIC as a prime target. Sanctions since 2019 have aimed to choke off China's access to advanced chip-making tools, citing national security risks. A verified 2nm chip from SMIC would be a direct challenge to that strategy, a signal that China's closing the gap despite the blockade. The US could double down, imposing even stricter export controls or targeting SMIC supply chain partners, like raw material suppliers or software providers. Think secondary sanctions that hit companies in neutral countries doing business with SMIC. But here's the catch: escalation risks backfiring. Overly aggressive moves could disrupt global supply chains, spike chip prices, and alienate allies like South Korea or the Netherlands, who rely on open trade. The Biden administration would face a tightrope walk: contain China without crashing the tech economy. Now, why does this matter so much? A 2nm chip isn't just a gadget upgrade. It's a force multiplier for artificial intelligence and military power. In AI, 2nm chips could enable faster, more efficient models, powering everything from autonomous vehicles to real-time language translation. China's tech giants like Huawei or Baidu could leap ahead in AI innovation, challenging Silicon Valley's dominance. Militarily, the stakes are even higher. Advanced chips drive cutting-edge systems. Think hypersonic missiles, satellite surveillance, or AI-guided drones. A 2nm breakthrough could bolster China's military modernization, narrowing the gap with the US in strategic capabilities. For example, China's People's Liberation Army could deploy smarter, faster systems for cyber warfare or missile defense, reshaping regional tensions in the South China Sea or beyond. Globally, the ripple effects would be profound. A Chinese 2nm chip could reduce dependence on foreign suppliers like TSMC, giving Beijing leverage over tech-hungry nations. Imagine countries in Africa or Southeast Asia turning to China for affordable advanced chips instead of Western firms. This could shift alliances, redraw trade networks, and amplify China's soft power. But it's not just about China's gain. The US and its allies like Japan and Taiwan could lose their edge in the $500 billion semiconductor market, which underpins the global economy. But here's the twist: even an unverified rumor has power. The mere suggestion of a 2nm chip could spook markets, sway investors, and force policymakers to act. It's a psychological weapon as much as a technological one. So is SMIC's claim a game changer or a calculated move to stir the pot? The answer could redefine global power. Let's explore what this really means. So is SMIC's 2nm chip a genuine technological leap, a strategic bluff, or something in between? The answer isn't just about silicon, it's about perception, power, and the global stage. A true breakthrough could rewrite the tech race, but even a rumor carries weight, shaping how nations, markets, and industries respond. Let's peel back the layers and figure out what this really means. If SMIC has achieved a 2nm chip, it's a monumental win for China. Producing chips at this scale without EUV machines would signal a level of ingenuity and resilience that defies expectations. It would mean China's semiconductor industry, led by SMIC, is closing the gap with giants like TSMC and Intel faster than anyone predicted. This could accelerate China's tech self-sufficiency, reducing reliance on foreign chips for everything from 5G networks to AI data centers. Companies like Huawei could roll out next-gen devices, capturing market share from Apple or Samsung. More broadly, it would signal to the world that US sanctions, despite their bite, aren't enough to hold China back. That's a powerful message, boosting national pride and signaling to allies and rivals alike that China's tech ascent is unstoppable. But here's the twist. What if it's a bluff? The absence of hard evidence, no chips, no specs, no third-party tests, suggests SMIC might be playing a different game. Strategic bluffs are nothing new in geopolitics. China could be hyping the 2nm rumor to unsettle the US, spook investors, or rally domestic support. Think about it. Announcing a breakthrough, even without proof, grabs headlines, shakes confidence in Western tech dominance, and puts pressure on policymakers. It's psychological warfare. In 2023, China floated similar claims about 7nm chips, only for later analysis to show limited production. A 7nm bluff could serve the same purpose, buying time for SMIC to catch up while forcing the US to rethink its sanctions strategy. It's a high-stakes poker move, and China's playing its cards close. The psychological impact is already rippling. Markets have reacted, with semiconductor stocks like ASML and TSMC dipping on news of the rumor. Investors fear a Chinese leap could disrupt the $500 billion chip industry. Globally, tech firms are on edge, wondering if they'll face a new, aggressive competitor. Governments, too, are feeling the heat. US allies like Japan and South Korea, home to chip giants, might push for looser sanctions to stabilize markets. Meanwhile, developing nations could see China as a viable alternative to Western chip suppliers, shifting trade allegiances. Even if the chip doesn't exist yet, the idea of it changes how the world perceives China's capabilities. But let's step back. Whether it's real or a bluff, the rumor exposes a deeper truth. The global tech race is heating up, and chips are the battleground. The outcome will shape economies, militaries, and alliances for decades. So what's the final takeaway, and where do we go from here? Stick around for the big picture. We've journeyed through a story that's not just about a tiny chip, but about the future of global power. The rumor of SMIC's 2nm breakthrough has sent shockwaves through the tech world, raising questions that cut to the heart of geopolitics, innovation, and ambition. So let's pull it all together and ask, what does this moment really tell us about the world we're heading into? First, the big picture. SMIC, China's semiconductor champion, is at the center of a high-stakes race. Founded to break China's reliance on foreign tech, it's now a symbol of Beijing's resolve to challenge US dominance. The 7nm chip rumor, whether fact or fiction, underscores a critical truth. Semiconductors are the backbone of modern life. From AI algorithms that predict your next move to military systems that guide missiles, chips like these are the invisible force driving our world. A 7nm chip, with its billions of atom-sized transistors, could give China a seat at the table of technological superpowers, powering faster AI, smarter weapons, and a stronger economy. But the US, Sanctions blocking tools like ASML's EUV machines are a calculated move to keep China in check, preserving Western control over this vital industry. Now let's revisit the rumor itself. Whispers of SMIC's 2nm chip surfaced in 2025, fueled by leaks and amplified by Chinese media. No hard evidence has emerged, no chips, no specs, no proof. Yet SMIC's history, like its 7nm success in 2020, shows they're capable of defying expectations. Could they have pushed older DUV machines to 2nm through sheer ingenuity? Some experts say it's possible, pointing to China's $50 billion a year investment in semiconductors. Others call it a long shot, arguing that without EUV, mass production at 2nm is a pipe dream, costly, inefficient, and years away. The truth likely lies in the middle. A prototype might exist in a lab, but commercial scale is another story. But here's the twist. The rumor's power doesn't depend on proof. Whether it's a breakthrough or a bluff, it's already shifting perceptions. Markets flinched with chip stocks like TSMC dipping on the news. Policymakers in Washington are rattled, weighing tougher sanctions that could ripple across global trade. Allies like Japan and South Korea are caught in the crossfire, balancing their own chip industries against U.S. pressure. And globally, nations from Africa to Southeast Asia are watching, wondering if China could become their go-to chip supplier. The psychological impact is real. It's a signal that China's tech rise is relentless, sanctioned or not. So, what does this mean for the future? If SMIC has cracked into 2nm, it's a wake-up call for the West. The U.S. could escalate sanctions, risking trade wars that spike chip prices and disrupt supply chains. But if it's a bluff, it's a brilliant one, forcing rivals to second-guess their strategies while buying China time to catch up. Either way, this saga reveals a world where technology is the new battlefield, and control over chips means control over progress. The U.S. China tech race isn't just about innovation, it's about who shapes the 21st century. Now here's the big question. Is SMIC's 2nm chip a sign that China's about to overtake the West, or is it a clever mirage to keep the world guessing? What do you think? Could China pull off this technological leap under sanctions? Or is this rumor just smoke and mirrors? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear your take on this global chess game. And if you found this deep dive into chips and geopolitics as gripping as I did, hit that like button to let me know. It helps us keep making content like this. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell for more in-depth analyses of the stories shaping our world. The tech race is only heating up, and we'll be here to break it down. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.